Wayne Cartmell. And I used to race at J&J with Jed Donahoe and John Sucres and Bob Nord, Bob Ballasty, at J&J, Jim Gallagher. And that was the beginning of my hot rodding career. So I've gone all the way up to alcohol dragster. So it was a lot of fun. I'm glad I had the opportunity to do that as a kid. Really was a great education.
You were very lucky to be.
I was in the right place at the right time.
You were in the right place.
Yeah.
I would have been a part of it had I lived down there in Orange County and near Long Beach and whatnot.
It was funny. I knew a kid that his dad owned a hobby shop, Jig's Hobby Shop in Long Beach, and so we used to go down there and buy model cars. And I met his son, Jed Donahoe, and he got me.
His son was Jed.
Yeah, he got me into slot cars, the little road race.
Right.
And we started building brass tube chassis with Stromberger motors in them, and we built a big course in my uncle's patio, and met Jed and at the hobby shop his dad owned. They built a drag strip in the back room. So there was a few of us kids that we'd go in the hobby shop and go straight to the back room, and all the other kids had to stay out front. So we were back there, and then Jigs went into business with a guy named Jim Gallagher, and they opened J&J Raceways or whatever it was.
Right.
And that got to be a pretty big deal. There was several famous people that came in there and raced, and there was the regulars, Braverman and Gene Hustings, and it was amazing because there was adults in there doing the same thing we were at 15 years old.
Yeah, at that time, how old was were they in their 20s or 30s?
Oh, Braverman and Hustings both, they must have been in their 40s.
Oh, really?
And Jim Yates.
Yeah.
Had to have been in his 40s.
Jim Yates, yeah. He was a dragster driver.
So they had access to all the good machinery and...
Oh, they had machine shops.
Yeah.
Hustings and Braverman. And we were
we were
working in the back of a hobby shop.
16-year-old kids.
17.
And 17 building masterpieces.
Well, at 15, I built a car that looked just like this. Same in every respect. Maybe not the style, but basically looked just like that. And at 15, I thought, this is pretty amazing. I mean, the rails on this thing are an 1/8 inch thick or something, and you're going to drill a double out 90 hole in that rail and tap it. And you only get one chance.
Right.
So I thought, boy, we are something. We're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
But it still amazes me that at that age we were doing stuff this sophisticated. In the 60s.
Yeah.
Hell, I was in high school, must have been 64, 65. It was a lot of fun, and it was quite an education. This car here actually was built by a friend of mine. His name's Bob Ballasty, and we were the B&C racing team.
I recognize the name.
We both had cars that looked just like this. He built this one when he was 15. Ran on 36 volts. Would go 55 feet from a standing start in 1 second.
Nice.
Which was pretty amazing at that time.
Right.
6-volt armature though, right?
Yeah, but we rewound all the armatures and epoxied them and faced them off, everything just right. It was something that I probably wouldn't have learned otherwise. You know, it taught me how to be precision, how to make things so they're right.
Yeah.
Because if they're not, they won't be as efficient as they would be.
Right.
So that was a good education for me. It was a good lesson. So I had fun.
I'm glad I was there.
Yeah, me too.
For some of it, you know.
And
met a lot of good guys. I did mostly road racing, living in Orange County, and only time I could get to J&J's or Long Beach, talked my parents into taking me. They still had friends in Long Beach they'd visit, and I'd go off the slot racing track. Well, the road racing thing was pretty big, but are there any of them around anymore to have a relationship like ours around here with this group? No.
I think there's only one shop around anywhere in a 50-mile radius.
But we're just still friends and stand together because of this.
What year did you get involved in the drag racing side of it, Leroy?
The drag racing?
Yeah. No, the drag racing of the slot cars.
Okay.
With all the guys.
Probably, 65.
Oh, okay.
60, might have been 64.
Yeah, 64 to 66 seems to be the
Yeah.
period of time where the most innovation was taking place, the fastest, quickest cars were of that time.
Yep. And luckily there was a high school machine shop, so I had access to machines and
Yeah.
was able to do a few things that I don't think kids have that advantage anymore. I don't think
No.
there's any
They don't.
machine shops in.
I had an uncle that was a machinist, and in his backyard he had a little shed, a little shop built, and he had a small lathe, and he taught me how to center a four-jaw chuck, so I could take square tubing and leave it square in the middle, and then round off, and then down smaller so it would fit in the frame.
Right.
So you could have your pickup. It was just a trick little piece.
Yeah.
And I was 15 when he taught me how to do that. And so I was making them for everybody. But I thought for a 15-year-old kid to run a lathe and make pieces, that was
Pretty damn
it was
good.
good. It was a good education. Taught me a lot.
Yep, and this is how my machine thing started, and now I got my own little metal fabrication shop, and running a nostalgia top fuel card, and we just won the March meet, so I'm bragging about that because it'll
You
probably
should be
never happen
bragging.
again.
No,
You know?
that's
It's
pretty
a
special.
pretty amazing thing.
You guys just won the March meet? You raced Mindy. Or
Yep.
yeah, Mindy. I know her. But like Leroy said, this provided the foundation for my whole, really, literally the rest of my life. Because I went from this to go-karts, to motorcycles, and into drag racing, and
Right.
ran a full-on alcohol dragster. So I'm so thankful that I had the opportunity to do this.
Yeah.
It was a
It
great
was a
education.
special time, and nobody knew how special it was when it was happening.
No, I had so many friends in school that were out, just doing the regular kid
Yeah.
things. And I was home filing magnesium plates.
Yeah. It
Was
seemed
it?
like forever then. It must have been probably a year, because I think I only did my direction from 64 to 65. I don't know how much time I spent with it, but it seemed like a lifetime back then, 1 year, 15,
Yeah.
before I moved on to other things.
Well, when I graduated from high school, that was the end of everything.
Yeah.
Had to have a car,
Yeah.
had to have a girlfriend,
Yeah.
then got married, went to
Yeah.
work, went in the Army.
Yeah.
The
It's
rest
the
is
natural progression.
Yep.
And
Just like
evolution
all
of
the rest of my
everything.
friends. We all did the same thing. But I did have a head start, I have to admit.
Well, the fact that Rod and Custom magazine covered all those races, I mean, as early as 62
Yeah.
and all the way up until 66, that was
Yeah.
a long time for a car magazine to be covering,
Yep.
electric drag racing.
What used to blow my mind too was I was 15 at the time, and I would come home and say, "Oh, we all are going to go to San Jose and race up there." And my mom would say, "Well, I guess you can go, and here's $20 for gas money and food." I was a 15-year-old kid in high school, and I would take off with John and Manuel and a guy
cool.
named Irving Cox in his old Ford, 50 Ford or whatever it was, and we'd drive all the way to Sacramento and race. I was a 15-year-old kid.
Oh
Can you
my
imagine
God.
letting your kids go to Sacramento at 15 by themselves?
Your parents would get arrested.
Yeah, well, they probably would.
Yeah, probably.
We had a great time, though.
Child endangerment.
Yeah.
We all won. We went up there and cleaned up, won everything, and drove home. No problem.
No
It was
problem.
fun. And like I said, that too was a real experience. Got me out of Long Beach
Yeah.
briefly. It was a lot of fun.
Got to see a little bit of the countryside.